Most of the real wedding to me is invisible. It has nothing to do with what's happening throughout the day in terms of the ceremony and the cake. And that is on the surface. The real wedding is what's happening with all the relationships underneath. People love their photographs when they look back and they see all the invisible things that they felt. My work is not for everybody, that's for sure, because there are other photographers who are specialists at details, shooting the flowers a certain way and shooting shoes creatively and every DIY detail that's at weddings now. There are people who are specialists at that. That's not what people come to me for. They see people who look like they're being honest and sincere and intimate and close and having an actual joyful wedding day. They see that in the eyes and in the expressions of the people that I photograph, and that's what they want. I know that the pictures that are most meaningful to people are the ones that are most symbolic of their most important relationships. And I can't do that if I don't know what's really going on in their family, or what's really going on in their heads, or what's going on with their friends. You know, I really need to understand that so that I can show them that picture of all their college friends who they barely even talk to anymore, but they were so close to in school. Now they've all come back for the wedding, basically to say, hey, I know we all have our own lives, everyone's a workaholic, but I'm here to show you that we're still friends and that we're always going to be friends, even if we don't talk as much. That's the picture that's going to be the most meaningful to certain people, right? And so I really go out of my way to go deeper into what they're trying to say and figure out what's really important to them. But, you know, a lot of people don't even know for themselves. You know, they'll start saying, oh, the wedding's really important. And what they really mean, even if they're not completely aware of it, is that what's really important to me is showing my parents that I'm thankful that they've gotten me to this point. Totally different thing than just saying I'm being happy about the wedding and the cake. When you have a whole stack of those moments, it is such a valuable thing for a family. It's very difficult being a bride trying to plan a wedding because you've never done it before. You have no idea what you're doing, and you're throwing this big party for 100 or 200 people, and you have no clue. I mean, you're flying blind into this thing, and you're trusting all these other people to do things for you, and most of all, me. I take that responsibility very seriously. So if I work really hard, it's only because I realize that I'm in a very privileged space and I don't want to mess it up. Experience is a big part of it. For instance, the ceremony's over and most brides and grooms look around, they look at each other and say, well, that was great, now what do we do? And what's about to happen is that every one of their friends is going to come up and give them a hug. And I know that's going to happen, so I'm prepared to shoot all those little expressions of affection and love from everyone they've invited. The way I look at wedding pictures is not pictures of a wedding, it's pictures of how your family started. That's a huge record to me, that you can look back and say, this is where we all came from, this is the family on my side and on his side or her side that came together and it made this fertile ground, and out of it came our family. This is what you're going to tell your kids when you look at the wedding photographs. This is how our family started. I mean, to me, that is incredible. You know? What was your question? I'm so excited. Sometimes toasts between friends are very, very emotional because we don't give toasts in my generation. You know, this is just not what we do anymore. But for weddings, people bring back a lot of those old traditions, and they say things that they would never ever say. That's one of the great things about weddings, is people are kind of prompted to express themselves more directly and more honestly than they normally do. And you hear people who you've loved for a long time actually say it. In a lot of relationships, there's plenty of love, but you just don't say it. And when you see that at a wedding, and you see how that statement hits the person it's directed to, it's impossible not to get sucked into that feeling. Things in life are always moving. You never get to stop and just look at something. And things look different when you actually have a chance to look around in a scene and actually look at an expression that was very fast. You know, a lot of people's parents don't cry. ever, or don't laugh ever, or don't even, some people's parents barely ever get along, right? So when you can see that for a split second and then take that second and make it into 5 minutes while you're looking and daydreaming about what happened that day, that is a powerful thing. I see now what it's kind of, as much as I can, what it's like to be a parent and see your child. Time and time again, they talk about how fast the whole thing went, meaning from when you were this to now they're taking your hand on the dance floor. A lot of people don't realize that for their parents, the wedding is kind of their last big gift that they can give you as a parent. Some parents see it that way, that this is kind of the end of the road now that you are professionally established, you have a great career, you are highly educated, you now have a family of your own that you're starting. They're kind of done. So it's a huge deal for them. And some people don't understand why their parents are so stressed out before the wedding, or why their parents want to spend so much money. And it's because this is their last hurrah. Big deal. And I'm able to actually see that. The two of you are going into this great unknown together. And as much as couples know each other, most people realize that there's so much more that they don't know, and they have no idea what's ahead. So, I mean, imagine coming together on one day and every relationship in your entire life is changing. That's really what I'm trying to show. And really, the people who come to the wedding are coming to say, look, what we have will still be there. It's a blessing to be able to show that to them. Because when they see the pictures, then they get it. Then they see, oh, this represents my good friend, and the hug she's giving me is real. They understand it when they see the pictures, even if they don't get it for the wedding. So that's really what I try to do.